Hey everyone, it's SJ, and welcome back to Something Different Sunday. Today I have the Star Wars customizable card game. In fact, I have 8 packs, one from each major set corresponding to a major location in the original Star Wars trilogy. Before I open them up, let's do a quick review of this product since many people probably haven't seen this before. The Star Wars CCG was created by Decipher, and the first set, Premiere, came out in December 1995. 11 additional expansions and a handful of special sets came out until December 2001, when Decipher lost the license to Star Wars IP to Wizards of the Coast. A players committee was created afterwards, which still supports the game today, with content, tournaments, virtual cards, and an online version of the game. Star Wars CCG has a small but dedicated player base, as this is a fun game, but also a complex game. Today we'll be opening up 8 packs. We'll start off with Premiere, and then we'll go into A New Hope, then one of my favorites, Hoth, then Dagobah, then Cloud City, Jabbas Palace, Endor, and of course, Death Star 2. I'll cover cards to pull for each opening, but ultimately don't expect much on prices. Death Star 2 has Emperor Palpatine and Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, which sell for a good amount of money nowadays, but most cards fall in the $10 or below range for all of the sets with minor exceptions. Interestingly enough, the booster boxes of all these sets reach an average of $500, with Death Star 2 boxes hovering around $2,000. Alright, that's enough of an overview. Let's start opening. The first pack is Premiere. This was the inaugural set for Star Wars CCG, and I'll show you the front and back of each pack during this opening because it's kind of interesting to see the differences. For this set, the cards we'd really like to pull are Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Leia Organa, and Darth Vader. So one pretty interesting thing about this card game is that the backs are actually different depending on whether you have a light side or a dark side. So here we have a light side card, and depending on what deck you're playing, you're either going to choose light side or dark side. So another light side, but this TIE Fighter pilot coming up will be a dark side card. So this is what the dark side back looks like. In addition, all of these sets have commons, uncommons, and rares. Speaking of the rare, this is our rare right now, the Tonica Sisters, which really isn't worth anything. And next is all commons. So the first 4 cards were uncommons. Funny story on this card, as a kid I always thought this was a guy trapped in a die, which makes no sense, but turns out it's Han Solo jumping through a blast door. It just took me years to realize that. Interesting perspective, I guess. You may be wondering how I knew which one is the rare, and it's because I had to look everything up prior to this. There are no rare markings on these, so you can't determine whether something is a rare, common, uncommon. You have clues based on whether they're a main character or not, or a key item. But in order to know this, you have to know the pack order, which changes in pretty much every pack, so I'll tell you where the rare is, or you just have to look the cards up. Alright, as we close out this Premiere pack, you can see that all of these pictures correspond to Star Wars A New Hope, the first movie, but up next we're actually opening up the pack A New Hope, so stay tuned for that. Next up is A New Hope. This set includes characters that weren't included in Premiere, such as most characters seen in the Mos Eisley Cantina. For this set, we really want to pull Brainiac, an infamous card for this game, Chewbacca, and any spacecraft. This pack has the same format as Premiere, where we have the 4 uncommons first, then the rare, and then all the rest are commons. And you'll notice most of these cards will be around Tatooine, such as creatures and locations. And here we have our rare, Commence Recharging. This one's not very good, but in general, you really want to pull any type of main character or spacecraft or vehicle, or you want particular weapons like Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. Also, I just noticed while editing this, sorry for the focus on this. It looked good on camera, but as I'm going through and editing, it's a little bit blurry, so I'll make sure I fix that in the future. Now we're coming up to the end of A New Hope pack. Honestly, out of all these sets, Premiere and A New Hope were my least favorite. The upcoming sets are much more exciting to me, so stay tuned for these. We've got some good stuff coming up. Now onto one of my favorite sets, Hoth. I also have a revised pack, which is a reprint edition with white borders that came out in 1998. These revised editions came out for a Premiere, A New Hope, Hoth, and Dagobah. For Hoth, we really want to pull Commander Luke Skywalker, General Veers, Trample, or Meteor Impact. However, I would personally love to pull Blizzard 1 and 2. We'll open up the revised pack first to show the white border version, and in this case, the rare is going to be in the back. As you can see, all of these cards pertain to the first third of The Empire Strikes Back, which is the Battle of Hoth. It's one of my absolute favorite scenes in all of Star Wars, so opening this up is just a real treat. And the rare for this pack is the Wampa Cave. This is a location card, which I haven't mentioned too much about these. As we open up the next pack, I'll discuss the types of cards a little bit more. Now on to the black border version, or the limited version as they call it. The pack order changes again, so now we're going to have commons, then the rare, and then the last 4 cards will be uncommons. Since we have a bunch of commons to go through, let's talk about the card types. So the first one you see here is a location card, and up next you'll see a character card. The card types are character, starship, vehicle, device, weapon, interrupt, effect, location, and then each expansion brought in new types of card types. So we have creatures and Jedi tests. So each time there's an expansion, there's typically a rules change, which is one of the reasons this game is considered to be quite complicated. I don't have the knowledge to actually explain how to play this game. There are YouTube channels that do a much better job of that, but they're also 30-minute videos. I do have time to cover the rare, and it's 2-1B. This is a medical droid, and it's a decent hit for the set. And up next we have a little insert on how to get in contact with the cipher. I'm not sure if these are still valid. As we wrap up the last 4 uncommons in this pack of Hoth, let me know in the comments if you've ever played the Star Wars CCG and what you think of it. Also, let me know what your favorite type of pack was. For me, I'm pretty biased and I love Hoth, but I love an upcoming set just as much. Now on to Dagobah, another great set. Here we really want to pull Yoda and the Executor, as well as any other bounty hunter. The pack format changes again in this set, where the rare is the card at the end. $3,720 to 1!
Never tell me the odds.
I know I've used this clip a lot recently, but it's literally the perfect opportunity, so I'm gonna do it again. For me, Dagobah was a really great set. I was able to pull multiple Yodas as a kid, and I just have very fond memories of this set. Unfortunately, I was never able to pull an Executor, or some of the bounty hunters like IG-88, but it is a really nice set. It's also the introduction of the Jedi test card, which is unique to Dagobah, and I spoil the rare here because initially I had no idea where it was. I thought Jedi test was the rare. But the next thing is this insert, which is really cool. This game is almost 30 years old, and here are the timelines for the releases. It's just a really cool insert. Here we have the holotheater for the Executor. It's not quite the Executor, but it's close. Next is Cloud City. This set has a ton of great scenes from Bespin, but the cards we'd like to see are Boba Fett and Slave 1, as well as the light and dark side variations of Lando. The pack follows the same order as the last one, with the rare in the back. These packs are actually still really cheap, so if you want to experience some Star Wars CCG pack openings, this is a nice starting place. Just don't expect to make any money on that. Luke's blaster pistol is the rare here, so Boba Fett evades opening once again. Next is my absolute favorite set as a kid, but also the most worthless set, it's Jabbas Palace. For this set, we're really looking for a couple cards, Jabba, the Rancor, and Princess Leia. I absolutely love this set as a kid, as it's full of characters from the start of Return of the Jedi. This set is funny because there's a limited number of images of some of the characters, so some of these pictures in these cards are just a profile of a character zoomed in since there was only one frame or one shot in the movie at the time. And our rare is actually pretty nice. It's a Jabbas sail barge, which at the time would have been pretty cool to pull. Next we have Endor. In this particular set, we're really looking for a couple of key cards. We're looking for General Solo, Daughter of Skywalker, and Tempest 1. There's also foil cards that can be pulled now, although I'm unsure if they were introduced at this point and what the pull rates are. The pack order changed again with commons, then the rare, and then 3 uncommons at the end. By this point, I stopped collecting Star Wars CCG, so I missed out on a pretty great set. These later sets are actually going for much higher values than the earlier sets, with Endor selling around $1,000 a box, and some of the other ones going for multiple thousands of dollars, which is pretty crazy to see. And here we have our rare Chewbacca of Kashyyyk. This is a really cool card, and I'm very happy to pull this. In terms of value, all things relative, it's actually a pretty decent pull. Finally, we have the last major pack, Death Star 2. This one has the introduction of an ultra rare, which is either Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight, or Emperor Palpatine. Either one would be great to pull, but in all honesty, any type of spacecraft would be good to pull in this set as well. Also, just to note, there was a special edition set that came out between Jabbas Palace and Endor, which commemorates the 90s re-release of the Star Wars movies, but I wasn't able to get a pack of that for this opening, unfortunately. And we get another really solid rare, the Accuser. I never opened up one of these packs before, so this is a really nice card to get. Also, considering the prices of these packs nowadays, it's probably the last time I'm going to open this up, so it's nice to end on a decent hit. What a cool card game. As a Star Wars fan, opening up this set makes me very nostalgic and really appreciate the enjoyment it brings me. We got a Jabbas sail barge, Chewbacca of Kashyyyk, and the Accuser, which were pretty nice pulls, but in general you shouldn't have any expectation of making money from these sets. If you're opening this up, it's because you enjoy the card game and you enjoy Star Wars. I hope you enjoyed going through these packs as much as I did, and if you learned anything, please like and subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Also, I just want to thank everyone for helping me get to 100 subscribers. I can't thank you all enough for supporting me. And please stay with me as I have much more good stuff coming in the future. As always, thank you for watching.